Here is the latest on interest and inflation in Australia as at August 2022. Currently, inflation in Australia is sitting at an annualized rate of 6.1%, its highest rate in 32 years. At the moment, it's being driven primarily by the supply side, or supply cost inflation. The first is fuel costs. Fuel costs have risen to all-time high as a result of the current war between Russia and Ukraine. Although in recent times, what we can see is that gas prices have started to soften. It does look like there is downward pressure on fuel prices. Construction costs have been rising, and two sides to this now, both demand and supply. On the demand side, you had significant stimulatory packages in Australia, like JobKeeper pouring money into the system, as well as other stimulatory packages primarily for the construction industry, like HomeBuilder, which sent the construction industry in Australia into a tiz. However, you've also got on the supply side things like timber and other input costs that are rising because of supply chain issues as a result of the global pandemic and, of course, the war in Ukraine. Now, the RBA in Australia, the only tool that they have to tackle rising inflation is through monetary policy, and this is interest rates. And they have been on a rate rise rampage. In April, the cash rate was 0.1%, where it was for most of the pandemic. They raised it in March and June, and again in July, and the current cash rate now sits at 1.85%, its highest since April 2016, and it looks like more rate rises are ahead of us as the government tries to bring inflation back down. But there is good news. The current bond markets have the interest rate peaking at 3% sometime in 2023, which is down significantly from the 4.5% that they were predicting a couple of weeks ago. Gas prices have started to soften. Supply chain shortages as a result of the pandemic are starting to normalize, and we are starting to see a return to normal prices across a range of goods and services, both construction and non-construction related. We believe, alongside most experts, that the cash rate will peak at a neutral rate of between 2.5 to 3% sometime in mid-2023, and even some experts and CBA are predicting that the cash rate may actually start to come down in late 2023 as prices and inflation start to normalize.